So that wasn't exactly the most exciting of games, but great win. And the only side to win in that stadium since Bayern Munich, which tells you everything you need to know about this Olympiacos side. Very defiant, very hard to play against, very, very hard to break down. But we've kept a clean sheet in a very hostile stadium when the going was very, very tough at times. We weathered the storm and we've got a goal. And we've got something to take back to the Emirates. I'm talking like we're playing away from home against Bayern Munich in the last 16 of the Champions League. But for me, this is still a very good competition, and ultimately this builds confidence. That 4-0 win against Newcastle, that 1-0 win tonight, 2 clean sheets, and I've got to say Mustafi and David Luiz, huge credit to them both because they are defying all the odds. They're working so well as a partnership, and I really hope they're able to continue this in that game against Everton, because suddenly, if we win that game against a very good Everton side at the moment under Ancelotti, that's 3 wins on the bounce potentially. I don't want to get ahead of myself because that is going to be a difficult game, but we're starting to come out of a bit of a rut now. Things are looking a bit more positive. The football is a lot better. What I'm noticing about this Arsenal team, and what I've noticed throughout the entire time when Arteta's been in charge so far, is that there's no passengers in the team, and it's really great to see us all working as a unit, all working collectively. I think tactically there are still a few tweaks that can be done, but apart from that, we've always got a chance when we're working this hard, and that's what I love about this Arsenal side. There were times tonight when we didn't play well, and I think that was evident in the first 20 minutes. It was evident for large spells in the second half, but we defended as a unit. We all worked very, very hard. As I say, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Mustafi and Luiz. They were a big part of why we kept a clean sheet tonight. Socrates, the right back, was a bit of a weird one. I'll get onto that a little bit later, but Leno in goal as well, some fantastic saves. He was excellent tonight, and I think it tells you everything you need to know about what this competition means to Mikel Arteta. He's obviously taking it seriously. You can tell just from his team selection, especially from keeping Leno in goal. He obviously wants to keep clean sheets, keep that defensive run going, and obviously progress further in the Europa League, which can be a good competition for us. We're in the FA Cup. We're very possibly still have a chance of getting top 4. So a couple of months ago under Emery, we were talking about the season being written off. Well, I'm not going to say look at us now, but look at the progression we've made since his dismissal. It's staggering. The football's better, the morale's better, and I'm just very excited about what this Arsenal team can achieve this season. Getting onto the team lineup, as I say, I'll start with Socrates playing at right back because obviously that was the one that drew the most attention first of all. Surprising not to see Maitland-Niles start. I thought he would have been given an opportunity at right back, but it's clear to see that I'm not sure if he's out of favour. Arteta doesn't rate his ability in that position, but Socrates got the nod, and I do think, if I'm being brutally honest, it is quite wasteful to have Socrates at right back and then have Aubameyang on the right wing. It just nullifies our right hand side, and you're not getting the best out of either of those players. Aubameyang, if he was playing at centre forward tonight and if he had the opportunities that Lacazette had, I'm confident we'd have won this game by a higher margin, but that wasn't the case, and I do feel like in these away games, Lacazette scored tonight, but there were a lot of chances that he did miss as well. And I hope that the goal against Newcastle, the goal tonight, will spur him on to hopefully get a few more goals and perform better away from home. But he had about 3 chances tonight, which should have gone in the back of the net. And I do feel like had we started Pepe at right wing, possibly Martinelli on the left, and then Aubameyang through the middle, we'd have had a much better balance in the side. But I do think you've got to sacrifice one of Aubameyang and Lacazette, and for me, it's got to be Lacazette at the moment. Despite scoring tonight, I know, fantastic goal, capped off what was a fantastic move started by Mustafi, who again played brilliantly tonight. Can't emphasise that enough. Really, really want to big him up in this video because it has been such a tough time for him in his Arsenal career. But relating back to what I was talking about, I do think Lacazette has to be sacrificed in order to play Aubameyang as that central striker. I think there's no problem playing Lacazette at home with Aubameyang, possibly shifted out wide. They can all interchange, interlink, but away from home, where we're having to work a bit harder, have a bit more balance. You want proper wingers, I feel. And even it's debatable with Martinelli if you want him playing on that left-hand side. There's a real case to be made for playing Bukayo Saka higher up, bringing Kolasinac or Tierney when they come in, or even playing Reece Nelson on that left-hand side. So it's interesting to see all the different options we've got, but we should have had a couple in that first half for sure. That Lacazette chance that he had, he really should have been doing better with that. He had that first chance which he just missed. He should have thrown his body at it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get that. And then that second chance, which he just completely fumbled. I mean, I don't even know how he missed the target, to be honest. He had all the time in the world to put it in the back of the net. But thankfully, he got his goal. And to have him scoring is a huge bonus at a time when we don't have a lot of multiple goal scorers. So I am buzzing for him. But I do think for the good of the side, as I say, it makes sense to drop him away from home in these type of games, bring Aubameyang through, have a proper winger on either side of him, and I do think we'll see a better balance in the team and hopefully more goals away from home. I don't think we were helped by the midfield either. I think it was a very tough game for Granit Xhaka in particular because he's kind of having to marshal two headless chickens in Guendouzi and Joe Willock. And I'll talk about Guendouzi first of all because I was a bit surprised to see him thrown straight into the starting 11. I would have personally continued with Danny Ceballos, who I thought was excellent against Newcastle. Would have liked to have seen him continue that run of form. I'm not sure if he'll start on the weekend against Everton. Obviously, it's great to have an option in Danny Ceballos and Lucas Torreira. I think we've really found what Danny Ceballos can offer to this Arsenal team, and that's obviously creativity, playing from deep, providing it to the likes of Mesut Ozil and building attacks from a bit deeper in midfield, whereas Torreira is a great option away from home. He's more defensive, breaks up play, but can also be very, very useful in our attacking build-up. That side of his game shouldn't be underestimated, and I think that's part of the reason why Unai Emery did want to play him higher up the pitch during his time at the club. But when it comes to the case of Matteo Guendouzi, I don't know what he is. I don't know what type of midfielder he is. I don't know what he offers to his Arsenal team because it's not goals, it's not assists, it's not defensive stability. It's kind of a glorified Mohamed El Neni, sort of. And I'm not saying that in a narcissistic way at all, because I think it's very easy to forget that Guendouzi and Willock, they're 20 years old, and we expect so much from young players, especially when you look at Saka, who's 18, which is incredibly young in footballing terms. And then you look around at someone like Martinelli, and then you look around a bit further, and you've got João Felix, who's 20, you've got Mbappe, very young, and these are world-class footballers already so early on in their careers. And as football fans, we get so excited by youth prospects, and we want them to be the next big thing, almost instantaneously. With Guendouzi, it's going to take time. It's a very tough league to come into. He's come from League 2 in France, and it's going to take time. Obviously, he's had his first season, impressed enormously, but this season I think it's obviously been difficult going from Emery to Ljungberg to Arteta. It's been difficult for all the players, but I do think he's been one in particular that suffered. And even though he's played so much football at Arsenal, I don't think it's out of the question to give him a loan potentially to a Premier League football club to find out exactly where his position is, because I don't know where it is at Arsenal at the moment. I don't see him playing alongside Lucas Torreira. I don't see him playing alongside Granit Xhaka. I really want him to find out what type of player he is and where he is best suited to playing, because at the moment, as I say, I just don't see it. In the case of Joe Willock, holds onto the ball for far too long, and I do like Joe Willock. I love that he's a potential goal scoring threat, but he gets into very good positions, makes great runs, prolongs those runs, holds onto the ball for too long, and then is wasteful with it. And that's again something that he's got to work on. But again, 20 years old, alone wouldn't go amiss in my opinion. And when we've got better options in the likes of Danny Ceballos, Lucas Torreira, and I'd hope that in the summer transfer window we'd look to bring in another midfield option, because we don't know if Ceballos is going to stay at the club. I think it's unlikely that he will. I do hope we bring in someone that can be an alternative option to Lucas Torreira. Again, we don't know what the situation is with Granit Xhaka, so the midfield could look very, very, very different. And as well, Mesut Ozil is coming into he's in his 30s now, so I'm not saying that he's at the end of his tether just yet, but we have to be looking to a long-term replacement for him as well. So the summer window will be interesting in terms of the midfield, but for me, Guendouzi and Willock are two players that I think can definitely benefit from a loan next season. If they don't impress towards the end of the season, and that's not to say they're playing badly, because I don't think they're playing badly. I just think there's more to be discovered from these players. I just think they're a bit lost in this Arsenal team at the moment. But apart from that, I mean, there's nothing really else to comment. I thought Olympiacos were very dangerous to play against, very tough to break down. I do hope at the Emirates it'll be a more calmer game where we dominate possession. Just to sum up though, really, really good performance tonight, and I'm delighted that we're playing as a collective, as a unit. It's something that I wasn't seeing earlier on this season. The players look a lot happier playing their football. I just think a few tactical tweaks and we're going to be in the place we want to be. But great win tonight. Got to bring this into the game against Everton. Potentially room for 3 wins on the spin. Hopefully 3 clean sheets on the bounce as well. How good would that be for our confidence? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's one game at a time. That's going to be a difficult game. But at home, with the Arsenal fans behind us, I'm confident we can win that game. I'm really confident we can win it. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on the video. If you have enjoyed it, let me know your thoughts in the comments box below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, I will speak to you very, very soon. See you later.